Aaron Wells had always believed that silence could tell as many truths as words. Lately, the silence between him and Caleb Hart felt heavier than anything they'd ever spoken. They had been together 4 years. 4 years of late-night talks, shared meals, and inside jokes. But in the past few months, something in their rhythm slipped. Caleb's smile didn't reach his eyes anymore. His phone buzzed more often. And whenever Aaron walked into a room, Caleb seemed to tuck something away, as if protecting a secret. Aaron tried to convince himself it was nothing. People changed. Jobs got stressful. Life didn't always stay in perfect sync. But he felt it, like a quiet pull in his chest, a tension he couldn't name. He'd wake up some mornings and realize Caleb's side of the bed felt cooler, as if he'd gotten up much earlier than he used to. In the evenings, Caleb stayed late at work, saying he needed to help Jordan Reed, his new co-worker, finish a few unexpected tasks. Jordan was polite the few times Aaron had met him. Polite, friendly, and too familiar with Caleb for Aaron's comfort. Jordan laughed a little too easily at Caleb's jokes. Caleb smiled a little too warmly whenever Jordan texted. It was subtle, but it was enough. One afternoon, when the worry felt heavy enough to sink him, Aaron called his sister, Lauren. She had always been the calm voice in a storm. "Talk to him," she said gently. "Don't assume anything yet." But Aaron wasn't ready. He didn't want to sound jealous. He didn't want to push Caleb away with accusations. So he stayed silent, letting the distance stretch between them like a thin thread threatening to snap. Days blurred until one quiet Thursday evening when the truth, or something like it, finally confronted him. Caleb came home earlier than usual. Aaron heard the front door click, then footsteps moving quickly down the hallway. There was something urgent in the sound, something that pulled Aaron's attention from the kitchen. He wiped his hands, thinking maybe Caleb had forgotten something or needed help with a work file. But as he approached the bedroom, he heard the faint sound of drawers opening, then closing. Not hurried, nervous. He pushed the door open gently. Caleb jumped. He stood beside the bed, shoulders stiff, eyes wide like he'd been caught doing something he never wanted anyone to see. His hands were curled around something soft, something familiar. Aaron's breath caught. Caleb was holding a pair of Aaron's underwear, not folded, not taken from the laundry basket. He was clutching them in both hands like he'd been staring at them moments before. The world seemed to slow. "Caleb, what are you doing?" Aaron asked quietly. Caleb's face flushed. His grip loosened. The underwear dropped onto bed like a piece of evidence between them. "I can explain," Caleb said, voice cracking slightly. This isn't—" "Aaron, please." Aaron stared. Not angry, just stunned. A warm ache spread across his chest, a mix of confusion and something deeper, something more frightening. "Why were you holding those?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Caleb opened his mouth, then closed it again. His eyes flicked to the bed, then back to Aaron's face. He looked trapped, caught between guilt and panic. They were behind the bed. He finally managed. "I found them there. I didn't know how they got there. So I picked them up, and then you walked in and—" "That's it?" Aaron asked, his tone somewhere between disbelief and pain. "You just picked them up?" Caleb swallowed hard. "I'm not lying." Aaron felt his heartbeat pulse in his ears. Something wasn't right. Caleb's voice was shaky, his shoulders tense, his eyes darting like he was hiding the real reason behind his actions. And maybe Aaron would have believed him, if not for the past few months, if not for the late-night texts, if not for Jordan, if not for the feeling that something was unraveling behind his back. "Caleb," he said, forcing calm into his voice. "What's going on with us?" Caleb stepped toward him, but Aaron instinctively took one step back. The distance between them widened like a crack, spreading across glass. "Please," Caleb said, reaching out. "Just let me explain. It's not what you think." But Aaron couldn't breathe in that room anymore. He turned away, the weight of the moment pressing against his ribs. As he moved toward the hallway, he heard Caleb call his name, soft, desperate, trembling. Aaron didn't look back, because for the first time in years, he wasn't sure he wanted to know the truth. He was terrified of what the truth might be, and even more terrified that he already knew. Aaron's chest still ached as he paced the kitchen, try and make sense of what he had just seen. The image of Caleb holding his underwear, so intimate yet so confusing, refused to leave his mind. He wanted to scream, to demand answers, but the words caught in his throat. Instead, he leaned against the counter, his fingers tracing the rim of his mug, trying to steady his racing heart. Caleb's footsteps echoed behind him. He appeared in the doorway, hesitant, as if approaching too quickly would make Aaron vanish. "Aaron," he said softly, "please, can we talk?" Aaron didn't turn around. "Talk about what?" His voice was low, steady, but inside it trembled with disbelief and fear. Caleb swallowed and took another step forward. "I know it looks bad, but it's not what you think. I didn't." He paused, searching for words. His hands flexed nervously at his sides. "I found those behind the bed. I didn't know where they came from, and I just didn't know how to tell you." Aaron's mind raced. The explanation sounded odd. But then again, nothing about the past few months had felt ordinary. "So you're saying you just found them and picked them up?" he asked, voice taut. "Nothing else." Caleb's shoulders sagged. "Nothing else. I swear, I haven't been with anyone." Aaron turned to face him finally. The hurt and confusion were written all over his face. "Then why do I feel like you've been hiding everything from me?" Caleb's eyes softened. "I've been scared. Scared of being judged. Scared of letting you down. I wanted to do something special for us. Something you'd never expect. But I didn't know how to explain it. So I stayed quiet. I know that was wrong." Aaron felt a flicker of doubt, but his heart still wavered between fear and hope. The last few months had been full of subtle signs. Late nights, hushed phone calls, laughter at messages he hadn't seen. And then there was Jordan Reed, Caleb's co-worker. Aaron hadn't met him often, but he remembered how effortlessly friendly Jordan had been with Caleb. It made the silence between Aaron and Caleb feel heavier, almost like the distance was tangible. At that moment, a knock on the door interrupted them. It was Jordan, holding a small stack of work files. His expression immediately shifted when he saw the tension in the room. "Hey, I just wanted to drop these off for Caleb," he said cautiously. "Is everything okay?" Aaron's gaze flicked between Caleb and Jordan. "Yeah, we're fine," Caleb said quickly, though the stiffness in his body betrayed him. "Just a little misunderstanding." Jordan gave Aaron a small, understanding smile. "I promise, there's nothing going on. Caleb talks about you all the time." Aaron's chest tightened. The reassurance helped, but only a little. There was still so much he didn't know, and the image of Caleb's guilty expression lingered in his mind. Caleb stepped closer. "Aaron, I know I messed up by hiding things. I wanted to make our anniversary special, and I didn't know how to tell you. I know now that my silence only made things worse." Aaron's voice cracked as he spoke. "Then tell me everything right now." Caleb took a deep breath, fighting the tremor in his hands. "I love you, Aaron. I've loved you for years. I know I messed up and I scared you, but everything I did, every mistake, every hidden moment, it was because I wanted to make you happy, not hurt you. You mean everything to me." Aaron's mind spun. The words sounded genuine, but his heart had been pulled in so many directions over the past months that he wasn't sure he could trust what he heard. He wanted to scream with relief, but he also wanted to cry from the fear that he had misjudged everything, that his trust had been broken in ways he didn't fully understand. Caleb stepped closer, careful not to invade the fragile space between them. "I've been trying to do something special," he continued, "and I hid it because I was scared you wouldn't understand. I never meant to hurt you, Aaron. I've just been nervous." Aaron felt the tension in his shoulders start to loosen, though only slightly. "Nervous," he repeated. "That's it? Nothing else?" Caleb nodded solemnly. "Nothing else. I swear, you're the only one I love. You're the only one I've ever wanted." The room felt lighter, though the weight of the last few months still lingered. Aaron's eyes filled with a mixture of relief and residual pain. "Then why didn't you just tell me from the start?" "I was afraid," Caleb admitted softly. "Afraid you'd think I was foolish, or that it would seem silly. But I see now that hiding it only made everything worse." Aaron took a shaky breath. I don't know what to say. Then say nothing, Caleb replied gently. Just trust me. That's all I ask. Aaron looked into Caleb's eyes, searching for any hint of dishonesty, but all he found was love, regret, and fear, love he had almost forgotten in the silence between them. And for the first time that evening, Aaron allowed himself to believe it. Aaron sank onto the edge of the bed, still processing the whirlwind of emotions swirling inside him. Caleb stood a few feet away, hands slightly trembling, his eyes fixed on Aaron as if afraid that one wrong movement would shatter everything. The room, which had felt heavy with suspicion and confusion just hours ago, now carried a fragile tension, an unspoken question hanging between them. Could trust be rebuilt? Caleb finally spoke, his voice soft but earnest. Aaron, I need you to know the truth. I wasn't hiding anything bad. I wasn't cheating. What happened with the underwear, it wasn't what it looked like. Aaron's brow furrowed. Then what was it? Because right now, all I remember is finding you holding it, looking guilty. Caleb took a slow breath. I was planning a surprise for our anniversary. I want to get something special, something meaningful. I tried to check sizes to make sure it would fit, and I hid it because I didn't want you to see it and ruin the surprise. Aaron blinked, the tension in his chest loosening just a fraction. Relief and disbelief collided inside him. You hid it? That's it. Caleb nodded, his eyes shining. I didn't know how to tell you, without it sounding weird. I thought you'd think I was, I don't know, silly or obsessive. I never meant to make you feel betrayed. I love you, Aaron. That's the only truth you need to hold on to. Aaron's shoulders slumped. The anger, fear, and confusion that had been pressing down on him all evening began to fade, replaced with hesitant warmth. I thought you were leaving me. That maybe I had missed all the signs. Caleb's voice shook slightly. I would never leave you. Not for anyone. Not for anything. Jordan is just a co-worker and a friend. He helped me keep the surprise a secret. That's all. Aaron let out a shaky laugh. Half from relief, half from disbelief at the emotional roller coaster of the past hours. So, all of this, all of the tension, the doubts, it was just a misunderstanding? Caleb smiled, a mixture of exhaustion and relief. A big misunderstanding, he admitted, but one I hope we can fix together. Aaron hesitated for a moment, feeling the fragility of their renewed connection. Then slowly, he reached out, letting his hand brush Caleb's. The gesture was careful, almost tentative, but it was enough. Caleb took Aaron's hand in his own, and for a moment, they just held it, letting the unspoken words fill the space between them. I'm sorry, Aaron whispered. I let my fears get the best of me. I didn't mean to doubt you, but I couldn't help it. Caleb shook his head gently. No, it's fair. I hid things. I was scared. But we can't let fear control us, Aaron. We have to talk, trust, and share before doubts turn into walls we can't climb over. Aaron nodded, a slow, deep breath helping him center himself. I don't want walls. I want us to be honest, even if it's scary. Caleb squeezed his hand, relief radiating from him. Then let's start over. Right here, right now. No more secrets. No more doubts. There was a quiet pause as Aaron considered the weight of those words. He realized how much he had missed the closeness they once shared, the late-night talks, the gentle teasing, the comfort of knowing someone truly had your back. And now, that connection felt alive again, tentative but real. Finally, Aaron let a small smile curve his lips. Okay, we'll try. Together. Caleb's face lit up with the smallest, most genuine smile Aaron had seen in weeks. Together, he echoed, letting their hands tighten around each other's. The evening outside grew darker, the world continuing as usual, unaware of the emotional storm that had just passed inside their apartment. But inside, something had shifted. The tension had broken, replaced by a cautious optimism, a fragile yet unwavering hope. Aaron finally allowed himself to lean back against Caleb's shoulder, the weight of worry lifting, if only slightly. You scared me, he admitted softly. Caleb pressed a gentle kiss to the top of Aaron's head, careful, tender. I know. I'm sorry. I never want to do that again. Aaron closed his eyes, letting himself breathe. I love you, he whispered. I love you too. Caleb replied, his voice full of sincerity. "And I always will." For the first time in days, Aaron felt the tight knot in his chest ease. The misunderstandings, the fear, and the shadows of doubt hadn't vanished entirely, but they had been replaced by the one thing that had always mattered: love. And for Aaron and Caleb, that was enough to begin again. As they sat there, hands entwined, hearts slowly sinking, Aaron realized that sometimes the moments that scare you the most are the moments that remind you why love is worth holding on to. The night settled around them, quiet and unassuming, but inside their small apartment, a promise had been made. A promise of honesty, trust, and unwavering love. Sometimes, he thought, the thing that breaks you is the thing that saves you.